this is Tony from 6 String Corner, and today I'm going to show you Animate. It's another Rush tune, and it's from the Counterparts album in the early 90s. So let's get started. There's really just a couple of sections here, so we're going to start and go. So this sequence of notes right here on the 5th fret on the middle strings happens through this whole section of the song. So what we're doing is we're going to move the bass notes around. So it's going to go from A to F, which is going to be used with the little finger. It's on the 8th fret on the A string. And then we're going to use the, the 6th fret on the low E string with the middle finger. Then we're going to use the 8th fret on the low string with the little finger. And then while this is happening, the pointer finger is going to raise up, and it's going to be barring strings 4 and 5 on the 5th fret, and then the final bass note will be right here, will be this D note, which will be on the 5th fret on the A string. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start with the low note, and we're always going to hear this from the 7th fret to the 5th fret on the D string, and then from the G string to the D string on the 5th fret. So we're going to always hear this. And then move the bass notes. Here we go. So here's the A. Then you're going to put this little finger right here on that 8th fret and do the rest of it. Will be the same, just a different bass note. And then you're going to put the middle finger up here on the 6th fret on the low E. As you do that, I would recommend putting the pointing finger, not necessary, but putting the pointing finger up here on strings 4 and 5, which you're going to bar. You're going to need that in a little bit. So again, here it is. The middle finger is going to be the bass note, and the rest of it's the same. And then little finger up here. Remember, it's only one time there too. And then on the 8th fret on the low E string. Same rhythmic pattern here. And then you're going to go play this D, which is the 5th fret on the A string. Everything else the same. So the order goes 2 times. The F will be 2 times. And then this, you can call it a B flat, 1 time. And the C, we call it that, and then the D. Hey, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Would love to hear from you. Alright, let's get back to the song. So the next part is, I guess you'd call it the verse. So the rhythm is da 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 da. So what I'm doing is a down up down up down up up down. And I'm including the low A and then this note here, which is also an A on the 7th fret on the D string. And then you're going to do a series of hammer-ons from 5 to 7 on the A string. And then hit this note here, which is on the 5th fret on the D string, and then another hammer-on. And you're going to hammer on into the 7th fret, which is that A, and repeat. See, alright, then it goes to a G note, which is the 5th fret right here on the D string, and it's just a series of, is it 8th notes? I don't know, whatever it is. That's what he does on the studio album. Live, he kind of embellishes that a little bit, but you're just going to hang on this G and go back to the A. Then we're going to a D. Same thing. Alright, so, and same thing, open D, and I'm still on the 5th fret, side of the fret. And then back to. On the studio album, when we get to that verse again, after we've gone through that chorus, what Alex does on the studio album is when he gets to this part, he mutes it. It's really muted down. And it opens up in the G, mute. And then the D's open. And then the A's open. That's on the studio album. On the live album, on some of the live recordings, I should say, he only does the mute the first time. Only the first time. And there's your G, and then it's open. And it stays open the rest of the time. So, Pick Your Poison. In my band, we play it. We do it the live version, but whatever works for you. For the solo is a really big reverby, sustainy feel. It's very atmospheric. It's very, just try to get that sound. The sound is, I think, to me, really crucial to this solo. All right, and it is more of a feel thing. So I'm gonna just take you through the notes, but you just got to kind of flow and sway with it. That's the best way I can describe it, man. And if you just learn to get into the song and get the vibe of it, you'll get it. Okay, so here's the notes. We're gonna start on the B string, 17. And then to 15 on the B string, and then on the B we're going to go slide from 10 to 8 to 10 again, and then to 12. It's all on the B string. And then we're going to do a little trill, a little hammer on pull off, and then slide from 10 down to 5 on the same string. So all that beginning is on the B string. Alright, use the right whammy bar if you've got it as much as you can. That's definitely used. It'll actually help with the sustain too if you're trying to achieve that. And then we're going to go back to... So that whole section was just from 12, 10, and 8 on the B string. But there's some slides in there. And then we do this hammer on pull up down to 8, and then slide that all the way up here back to 17, all on the B string. There's a couple of really quick hammer on pull outs for it. Alright, and now we're up here, we're on 21 on the B, 15, and then quickly we go to 15 on the B, and then go all the way down here to this A note, which is the 7th fret on the D. Slide it up to 9, so 7, 9, and then this little slide thing down to 2 and to 5. All of that's on the D string. So from this part, you see I just slid from 2 to 5, and then we're going to go 7 on the D, 7 on the G, 8 on the B, 12 on the B. And now we go to the second half of the solo. This is really actually the solo, although I kind of look at this whole thing as a solo. And we're going to be here in the 12th position. We're going to bend 14 to 12 on the E, to 15 on the B. Then some hammer on pull-offs. We're going to go 12, 15, 10, 12. So then we're going to go down here in the 7th position. So we're going to, again, another hammer on pull-off, but this one's going to be from 7, 10 on the B, and then 9 on the D string. And then you're going to bend the 9 on the G. Little riff right in there, which is between 5 and 7 on both the G and the D. He does a little whammy bar thing when he bends that note. Sometimes I hear it, sometimes I don't. And then when you land here back on the 7 on the G, if you got the whammy, it's really aggressive right there. the riff concludes with a little pattern here on the D string. So again, hammer on pull off, we're going between 7, 9, and 5 on the D. Something like that. It's kind of hard to hear. And then I think it's right here, 7 on the A, 7 on the B, but you're going to end on the G, which is the 3rd fret on the low E string. And then it concludes, and it looks just like this as part of a G and an A chord. So we're here at 15 on the B, 16 on the G, and we're going to slide that pattern up 1, 2 frets. Just da 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 da. And when we slide back up again, we're going to do, instead of doing chord, like here we're doing both strings at the same time, and then you're going to slide this note right here on 16 on the G, slide it up to 18 on the G on its own, and then 17 on the B, and then go to 15 on the E, and then let it sustain out. It just holds there. There's a rhythm guitar in the background. Obviously it's not in there live. Sometimes he mixes these two up, but it's really going from E, from the E power chord to a G. Sometimes you're going to come back to that G power chord, or you might go to the E. It's up to you. This note can just hold. And then somewhere in there there's a G that comes in when it goes to the G chord. You will have seen it earlier when I played this song. And then back to this 15th fret. And that's it. That is how that song is done. The solo, and then it goes right back, drum beat, and all right. Optional ending. They've done this live, so I'm going to show it to you. As it's fading out, you will hear this part going. Right? And a lot of times you'll hear this repeat. Well, at the very, very end, they'll come to that part again, and so it'll be like the B flat, D. Now we do power chords. B flat, C, E to D. All right. Listen to the live versions. That's how they end the song, and then just use it to rock and roll, let it fade, however you want to do it. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. It does help out, and leave a comment. Love to hear from you. All right, thanks a lot, and rock on.